What will be his fastest run of the week? .464 miles per hour. That's 8 miles faster than the car had ever been before. And Richard Hollywood follows with his fastest speed of the week, 198.5 miles per hour, so close to that elusive 200 barrier.
Set the kilo. Got the 5.
The fire and safety crew, after checking out Salmon at the end of his run, now head out to follow Richard Hollywood to a stop. Les Liggett prepares Field's engine for another run. This time George, along with Al Teague, plan to run from the opposite direction starting at the 10-mile marker. Now they will have an extra mile for acceleration. With a longer run, perhaps they can ease on the throttle to get a better bite.
10-mile marker.
Feathering the throttle for 5 miles, shifting into fourth just before the 5-mile marker. The car begins to veer off course, so Al kills the engine, shuts everything off, and releases the chutes. He's coasting at 360 miles per hour. Impressive numbers for some, but a big disappointment for Al Teague. He accelerates very quickly away from the push truck and seems to have a very good start. Okay, George, today you made your last run of the meet?
Yeah, we ran a 284 average. Broke the roller belt right in the middle of the mile. A little bit loose. Really couldn't put it down like we wanted to. We was hoping for something in the 320, 315, 320 anyway. Couldn't get the fire down.
I think there's a lot of room here. It's just that we were unfortunate they had rain the week before we came.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we didn't figure on the cyclone. You know, we're probably more fortunate we weren't stranded like some of the folks out there. It was awful wet. Of course, they may want us to come back just so they can get some more rain. You know, that may be we're interested.
Good. Thank you, George.
Okay.
See you tomorrow when we're loading.
Okay.
And Salmon makes his last run of the meet. The last runs have been made. The bus heads back to Mount Ive.
One thing I want to say about this gathering is that we've become a team. The Aussies, the Kiwis, and the Americans.
The Speeds haven't been up there, but we have had a great time. And to see the Kiwis, which I'm an ex-Kiwi, the Aussies, and I'm an ex-Aussie, and now a Yank. It's just been unbelievable. We just can't relate to you guys just how much we've enjoyed it. We really have, and I know all our team, Al's team, we've just had a blast. We really have. So we would like to come back.
Well, we currently hold the Bonneville record, Lake Gairdner roaster at 2:43.5. Comes to Australia and just, what's that, 12 miles an hour? I can't believe it. Just made all kinds of horsepower, and that roaster just ran and ran and ran. 4 runs over 250.
This trophy is awarded to any Draw Lakes member that runs over 200 mile an hour over our clock. Chuck here was the first man to do it in our club, but he gets the trophy.
Take a lesson from us and don't let anything happen to that lake.
Right.
And we've really enjoyed it. And I want to thank each and one of you for the kindness and the hospitality that you've given us. Thank you.
I'm a newcomer to this sport, so I don't have the war stories to tell that all the other guys have been able to stand up and speak about. But I can say one thing, we got the best damn fire crew out here tonight.
Does anyone have any complaints about the meals here?
I think we'll cherish all of the film, all of the tapes, and everything that's been shot this week. When it all gets put together, I think we're going to have quite a piece of film that will show the pioneers of this. And like Al said, there's a fantastic potential there. You have the best salt in the world. We've run on the other salt, and we've run here, and this is very, very nice. So, like he said, cherish it, take care of it, and I can see this just building up, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I told somebody today that 10 to 15 years from now, we will probably see the Lake Gairdner Hilton Hotel sitting on there.
You brought over a whole bunch of legends and heroes that we've been reading about for years and collecting, and no one's allowed to turn that magazine off that page because that's them. And them are here today and this week, and that's been such a thrill for all of us. And I really hope you're happy with what's happened and that we can all get together again, be it here or there, and make it happen again and even better. So I wish all of you a very safe trip and a happy time here, and thank you all very much on behalf of all Australians, New Zealanders, and everybody else from this half of the hemisphere down here. All the very best, and thank you very much. Yeah.
Next morning, our containers are brought onto the salt and loading begins almost immediately. The wind has died and the salt is drying. Soon it will be as dry as it has been here for most of the last 9 years. That's when it last rained here.
Al, you must be a little bit disappointed. What went wrong?
Well, of course we are. We've been kind of fighting the wind all week and trying to make it run. Our speeds have been progressively going up, and we thought we would try a run from the other direction. As far as what went wrong, we have to take a serious look at the car and find out.
Now, what happens now? You go back to America, and then what are your plans?
Well, we regroup. We look at it and try to work on the car, figure out what's wrong or what we're doing wrong, and then we'll check for wait for next year, or maybe go to our own salt flats and try it again.
And your ultimate aim is what?
Well, the ultimate aim is what we came down here for, was to raise the wheel-driven record.
Will you be returning to Lake Gairdner?
If it's in the cards, we will. We've enjoyed it here. We've had a great time. This is a great place, and it's I would say the ultimate place for wheel-driven or jet thrust vehicle records.
Cars and equipment now move toward the containers as Aussies and Kiwis in great numbers help with the loading. Now that we've had experience loading and unloading, this operation moves along rather smoothly.
Hello there, mates. Just how long has it been since you had an AC Cola? Well, that's too long.
As the Americans drain fuel in water tanks and pack equipment for loading, they must also take care to leave the salt in the same pristine condition in which they found it. No contaminating liquids can be spilled or trash left on the salt. Some of the Aussies are heading out while others continue packing or helping the Americans with loading chores. Salmon's heavy roadster is surrounded by Aussies waiting patiently to push it up the ramps in the container. And Goodman's car is held in place by workers covered with the ever-present flies.
My name is Dick Williams, and I'm the Executive Director of the International Speed Challenge.
And how do you rate the Lake Gairdner as a venue for racing?
Well, it's the most wonderful salt flats that we've seen in 40 years compared to Lake Bonneville in America.
And the Americans' impression of the lake since I've been out here?
Now, one example I can give is the secretary of the Utah Salt Flats Racing Association. When she reached the top of the hill overlooking the salt, she burst into tears.
Will they return to future events?
Everyone is talking about returning, and yes, I think that we will try to return. We must do it a little differently than the way we have. We've all taken our own monies out of our pockets, our retirement. We're working on credit cards.
What has been the cost to get your group out here?
It's pushed $200,000 American to do this. It's really quite an adventure and extremely expensive. The logistics to bring cars here is just tremendous.
Three blasts from the air horn means the bus is ready for its last trip to Mount Ive and then on to Adelaide. Everyone except those with their own vehicles is aboard. Settling in their seats for the long trek homeward, they relax and begin to catalog their memories. Months of preparations, loading the containers, the long flight over, sure a lot further than the trip to Bonneville, and then Cyclone Bobby, dousing Australia in the lake bed with water and winds, and the salt. Although wet and slippery on top, still hard as concrete. It must be wonderful when it's dry. And even on the damp salt, 2 of our cars went faster than ever before. So 2 out of 5 is not too bad. Perhaps another week of drying out, and the more powerful cars of Teague and Fields could also have set new records. Maybe they will be fortunate and find these opportunities this year at Bonneville. If not, they now know there is an alternative. Fantastic Lake Gairdner. And here the Dry Lakes Racers of Australia are such wonderful, friendly hosts. But with so many questions, hundreds and hundreds of them. But then we must remember, they are relatively new at this game. This was only their 3rd meet. And now they develop more cars needing the long course with that additional timing and communicational equipment necessary. I can understand their thirst for knowledge from the Yanks. Our timing bodies in California and Bonneville, with over 50 years' experience putting on these meets, could help these lads avoid some of the pitfalls in the future. And with this salt, they do have a future. And like the early hot rodders on the lake beds in America, we'll now look forward to larger meets with faster cars, longer courses, international records, and more participants from other countries. I hope at Bonneville, when we have international entries, we can be as gracious and caring hosts as the Aussies and Kiwis have been during this Speed Week on Lake Gairdner in March of '95. They have made this a most joyful and memorable occasion. So until we meet again, be it at Bonneville or next year here down under, and speaking for all of the Americans, I must close with a sincere and hearty, good day, mates.